Hey everybody. Okay, so last time, I was just working on trying to get the scene um, like animated, and the main thing was to kind of get just like the TypeScript working, um, just get it to compile with the TypeScript, and that was fine. So after that video, I continued to work on it, and basically what I wanted to do was get this animated checkbox into the scene, and I wanted to get inside the animation a drop down for uh, the red, and I did that. Um, so some things, there are definitely some console log errors that need to be addressed, and there's also some. So there's like three things. I know that there's three things that I need to work on next, and I'm not sure. I can't be exactly sure which is the best one to do first. So I know just from having worked on everything else that whenever I convert something in the scene from animated to not animated, when I convert the scene to animated or not animated, I need to create a pair. Uh, uh, the concept is a animation pair. Let's see, is it in here? Um, yeah, one of these animation pairs that has an item on the left and a three object on the right. And I know I'm not doing that. The other thing I know I need to do is I know I have a bunch of code that is specifically designed to sort of only select the right, like filter out the wrong, like, so let me see what's a good way to say this. So right now, like if you're looking at the look at, you should only see perspectives. And if you're looking at exposition, you should see meshes and lights and perspective camera. And then but if you're going to be looking at, for now, if you're going to be looking at the background, then you should only see scenes in there. And so I know I'm not doing anything about that. So those two things need to be taken care of. And then a third thing is there's a bunch of console log errors, and I need to address those. So in my thought, just through experience, I think that the smartest thing to do would be to fix the pairs, creating pairs. And the reason I think that is because a lot of the console logs are likely to go away, or new console logs will be created when I do that. And in either case, fixing all the console logs before and then coming back and then doing something that will make them go away or create new ones will actually, then I just have to go back and take care of that again. So I know I want to do that first. Now, so creating a pair and then the filtering, I just think it'll be easier to take care of the filtering and those sorts of issues in the animation section of the application after I actually have pairs to work with, scene pairs to work with. So to me, it makes a lot of sense that the next step would be to work on that. So this is a pretty cool animation that I put together. And basically, I just have a red mesh and a red light hitting another mesh. And I have the look at watching it go in. So basically, it's kind of like if we were like on a satellite on the side of the Earth and we were watching, or side of a planet, and we were watching probably more like Mars since everything's red, and we were watching it kind of come in, and it's like, oh, there it is, and that's where it hit. I think that's pretty cool. And then, so one thing that I could do at this point is I could actually match it up, right? I could say, okay, I want to be the satellite. So let's just see. I don't know what's going to happen, but let's go 10 and -2. So now the camera is moving with it along, matched with it along the y-axis. And now I'm going to do the same thing for the x-axis. So I'm going to make this -5 and 3. And so we're moving along with it. Oh, and that was pretty cool because we actually got to see it sort of move through and now let's do the z-axis. And that's -10 and 10. So we don't see anything. We see the light come up, and that's because we are the actual ball. So let's try making this like -11 and 9. So we're a little bit behind it on the Z. So we're kind of rolling with it. And let's try the same thing with the X position. So it starts at 10, so we'll go Y and then -1. So we're flying with it. Let's see, did I do X? No. Okay, so X, I'm just going to make it -6. And 2. All right, so we're kind of moving along with it. You know, it's kind of like third person watching it go in. And then I believe the X is staying. I mean, the Y, I think I set the X look at. So that should be -5 and 3. Yeah, -3. So basically it watches this the whole time. So what we could do is pause this thing and then go all the way to like right there. That's the implosion point. And just kind of set the yeah, this is just set it to where it's always looking at where it's going to hit. 2, and then Y look at is -1.38. And just copy that. This is the point where it hits, and then I have no idea what's going to happen. I hope it's cool. 7.5. And 7.5. All right, now. So right now we're kind of behind it a little bit, and we're staring right at where it hits the whole time. So unfortunately, where it hits right now is off screen. And it's kind of weird how it's all to the left now, and but that's the point, the collision. I think that's what's happening right here. Anyways, it's fun to play with and all that. So let me go over the code that let's see if we can explain what's happening. So basically, I had to update the application animation interface properties. So this is the things that can show up in or that can be that are accessed, and I just had to add the BG red color. So that's basically on the interfaces that I created, what I'm going to be working at. And then the 3 object properties inside of the 3 object, the thing that we're updating is the background. And then the 3 object subproperties, and this is actually wrong, but is red because I don't believe it has a red value. I think it has just a full value, kind of like the way X, Y, and Z are on the look at. So technically this is wrong. That's why like a lot of allowances had to be made in the code. It's just sort of, had fingers crossed that all those things were consistent on the ThreeJS side, but they aren't. So you just got to roll with the punches. So this is basically the drop down. It says that we've got, we want to call it BG red. The item value, so that's on the interfaces I created is BG red color. The 3 property is background, and then the 3 sub property is red, which is not right. That was the one we just added, and I had to update the interfaces to make that happen. So over here, this is basically what puts the checkbox in line here. This all works for me. I could just copy and paste and make changes easily, and that's only because in the component itself I've already imported all the matte checkbox and matte stuff and the material design stuff, and I've already imported the reactive form stuff. So that all just worked. If you were trying to build it from scratch, there's actually a lot of other stuff which I've done in previous videos. And now in the scene manager, I had to create a new form control called animated, and basically create new, let me hit pause, create new attributes to update. So yeah, we have our new animated in the form. We have our new component attribute, and then we have this is where we set them in the effect, which is published by the the service, and then here's where we initially set the value, and then this is where we handle changes of the value. So at this point, the next step I think is now to create an animated pair for that. If you look in let's see if we already have them. I don't think we will have them. If you look in the console log, yeah, we don't have any errors yet, but I believe, and now this is jacked because it doesn't handle resizes very well. If I go to here, and I think if I remember correctly, and I go to animated, and then if I go to animation, and then maybe I don't even have to. Okay, so let's go to camera. So it doesn't have any animated pairs, so it didn't. So that didn't show anything. I need to make this its own little pop out. So I'm just going to pull that guy down in here. And I'm just going to refresh the screen. And I'm going to go to cameras, and I'm going to make that animated, and then I'm going to come over here to the animation, and then I'm going to go to BG Red. Yeah, see, I get all these things. And now this would have been like short-circuited if I had been able to create the types properly. And honestly, the biggest reason I can't create the types properly is because I can't visualize those abstractions of all the different pieces and how they put together on the ThreeJS side and how they go together. But this is sort of what you do second. This is what we did before we had TypeScript. And you come in here and you see what's broken and hope that everything is like that the JavaScript doesn't just sort of fix. JavaScript has this great way of fixing things, like taking the string one and making it an automatic one. All kinds of little shortcuts like that for us that then can make it very difficult for us to actually find errors. It's like it gives and it takes. If you live by it taking care of bugs for you, you die by it taking care of bugs for you later. But anyways, I think this is probably the third thing I need to deal with. So the first thing I need to deal with is that when I come in here and I click this button, an animated pair should show up. And I'll know if an animated pair showed up because then there will be drop down things. Like if I go into the camera right now and I unanimate it, and there's no telling because there's console logs, and I come in here, see there's no drop down. So I'll create the animated pair, come over here, see that the drop down exists. Then the second thing will be I'll update the code that sort of removes things so that we don't, and I'm thinking most of these errors will go away. And then the third thing will be deal with any extra console log errors that we have. And then the fourth thing will be to go into the animation code itself and add more data for scenes, or more logic to handle scenes, scene animations, and then handle the red specifically. At that point, I think, and I've done this before and been wrong. At that point, I think all I need to do would be I think it'll all just work, and then adding green and blue to the mix will be super simple. And that's about it. How over am I? I'm 4 minutes over. Sorry about that. Happy coding, everybody. Bye.